All right, guys, welcome to my channel where I use live stream to do all my videos because I don't have time to edit, but I digress. Let's talk about this fat fasting, absolute garbled half nonsense, mostly garbled nonsense. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is because a lot of people are choosing to fat fast because they still think they're fasting, right? People feel like, well, if I eat fat all day long, then I can drop my insulin, drop my blood sugar, become insulin sensitive, start burning fat, go through autophagy, have a ton of energy because I'll be in ketosis, and this simply is not mostly true. Could it happen? Let's go into it. Now, fat fasting would be, you guys check this out. I was like just looking up the fat fasting, how people say that they do it. And I found this website. I don't know who it is. I'm not trying to call out anybody. There's been some other people have been getting a little triggered off of my big mouth, but we got to keep it real here up in Stephanieville. So let's pull it up. So check this out. Okay, so this is some study design. I don't know how people make up this stuff. I really don't know. I don't know whose website this is. So let's get into it. Okay, this is where I guess they're talking about doing coffee with 10 grams of MCT oil powder. Garbage. I guess ketones and glucose were tested baseline after every 30 minutes, up to 2 hours. And they don't go over the ketone ranges. See, just because you make ketones doesn't mean that they're within the range, and it doesn't mean that this does not mean, first of all, MCT oil does not put you into ketosis. We're not made out of coconuts. We're made out of animal fat, and that's what the body does really well with. And how do I know this? Because I've coached thousands of people over the years. If you don't believe me, go back to those freaking dinosaur videos to prove it. All right. Let's look at what this thing says, all right? What are good fats for fat fasting? This person goes, I think, note the first two words, I think, means they don't know. I think that the best fats to consume during this fat fasting window are fats rich in MCT oil or MCTs or medium chain triglycerides. That would be that's MCT oil, coconut oil. That's not true. Now there are MCTs and LCTs in butter, but a lot of you guys have histamine intolerance, so that won't work. You got to be careful to not listen to general information because it doesn't work. Everybody's gut is completely jacked up in a different way. Okay, let me see. Let's see what it is first. Okay. Should I drink fatty coffee in the morning? No! You want to jack up your adenosine receptors. What's the pros? Increase ketone production. Lie. Improve mental clarity. Lie. Increased energy. Fake energy. Better satiety? No, you're just running from a lion, so your body's not telling you to go have Panda Express. That's all. It's a fight or flight thing. Where's their definition of fasting? So we can just go over what they say it is. Well, I already know what it is, but I want to see what this website says. Ketoologist. Okay, what is fat fasting? So fat fasting is exactly what it sounds like, consuming fats during your fasting window, just like the other method of fasting. There are reasons why this method could be useful. Really? I don't think so. But can fat fasting really be considered fasting? Fasting is often considered the restriction of all food and drink that is not water, and this would mean that fat fasting would not actually be fasting. However, one thing is important to point out is that there is a difference between what a fast and what has the benefits. Here is how I would like to look at fasting when considering how to obtain the various outcomes. Okay. Why do you think you should fat fast? All right, let me get back to it and stop reading this nonsense. As you can see, there are several pros and cons. This is with coffee. Let's see what their schedule is. Okay, this is this person's fasting schedule. And that's what I think is very, very dangerous. This says my fasting schedule. I wouldn't ever say what my meal schedule is because you guys will copy it. And my body and your body are not the same. But it says, okay, 5 a.m., wake up, ready to meditate, pray, stretch. That's great. Okay. Perfect keto matcha. Okay, we don't do caffeine because that completely jacks up your adrenal, hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis, and flood your adenosine receptors with adrenaline, and that's awful. Okay, MCT processed powder, garbage. With black coffee that has mycotoxins and tannins that rob your body of iron. No, bad idea. Okay, 6:30 to 8:30 deep work, 9:30 to 10:30 workout. That's a good time to work out, but they should have had their breakfast a long time ago. Sauna at 10:30 to 11 a.m. 11:30 sardines, eggs, collagen powder, and avocado. So this is a great example of a horrific feeding, not only window, but the types of food. Sardines are fine. Eggs, if you don't have an egg sensitivity, but collagen powder with its oxalic acid, oxalates, collagen protein, avocado's fine. Where's the butter? There's not enough fat at that first meal at 11:30. So already from 5 a.m. to 11:30, this person's hypothalamus is going, let's slow down this person's metabolism because they're driving a car 100 miles an hour with no gasoline in it. Legit. But nobody talks about this stuff. Okay, so 3:30 salmon roe. That's fine, salmon roe. Ribeye, beef, liver, capsules. Capsules? Why would you take capsules when you can eat real liver and get the real vitamins and minerals? And then 8:30 bone broth. This is awful. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Chris Irvin. Sorry, this is really bad. This is terrible. All right. Let's talk about what people actually consider a fat fast. So basically, the science behind fat fasting is that we're trying to get our insulin down and sensitive, right? And so people think that if they're not eating between these long windows, they can drop their insulin, thus dropping their blood sugar. And then, no, it's the inverse. It's dropping their blood sugar, which drops their insulin, which then they're not storing fat, and then their metabolism magically is going to start burning fat and being very efficient. Okay, that's the idea. That doesn't happen. A lot of people out there are suffering from a metabolic derangement. This is where your metabolism's not working properly, and the older you get, right, and the more hormonally out of balance you get, the more difficult it is to rebalance your whole entire body, getting back into homeostasis, including your hormones. We're talking your sex hormones, your adrenal hormones, your thyroid hormones. These things just don't balance. They take a lot of work. So when you're doing this fat fast, and you wake up and instead of this schedule, I don't know what this person wrote down. I don't even know why I read it. Let's just get down to it. Fat fasting is, if you eat fat, it's like you're fasting because fat does not incite glucose spike and then insulin spike, which is not necessarily true, especially if you have a broken metabolism. It doesn't matter. Every time you guys eat, within the first 30 minutes to an hour, your blood sugar is going to spike. That's what it does when you eat. Cortisol is a part of the digestive process. So with cortisol and with insulin and blood sugar, your blood sugar is going to spike just the way that it is. The point is for your blood sugar to drop after the second hour. And technically, if you're eating fat and you're metabolically strong, then after the second hour, it will drop. And then you're not storing any fat. This allows your body to then access ketones while you sleep within the body fat and burn body fat, not the fat that you're eating. That's the first phase of your keto adaptation. But learn how to burn body fat once you're more adapted. And that's how you access those fat cells and have mental clarity and deal with your autoimmunity and your inflammation. The problem is that if you can't get your hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis calm, and you're coming already from destabilized blood sugar, you start eating a lot of fat, and you're pounding down MCT powder. You're not adapting. You're not going to lose the weight. Your insulin's going to become more inflexible. You're going to have more health issues doing this ridiculous diet of trying to use processed MCT oil. Because MCT oil is a medium chain triglyceride. It's very small in particle size. You don't even need a gallbladder to digest it, so you don't really gain weight from it. But you can't make viable ketones that are sustainable. So what happens, my people, is that people are fasting on the MCT crap. The blood sugar starts spiking, thus not making them insulin sensitive. Thus, this defeats the whole purpose of this stupid fast. Do not fast. You need protein, my people. You can't just do fat all day long. And I've been getting this question more and more. So your body needs fats. It really needs fats and proteins before carbohydrates, right? There are a few carbohydrates in meat anyway. We know that. People are like, really? And I'm like, yeah, look at liver. There are fats and there are carbohydrates in meat. But I digress. You have protein, right? We need amino acids for every cell in the body. And then we have fatty acids. We have amino acids and we have fatty acids. And this is a cocktail that makes you metabolically strong, right? So we got protein for building material, right? We've got fat for cellular strength, for the cells, the inside of every cell. We'll use fat, we'll use cholesterol molecules for the lungs, for the brain, for your reproductive system. And this keeps your body in balance. So your body is not going to go and break down protein, muscle, collagen, and everything when you're having protein and fats and you're in ketosis, right? So you have to have enough fat, and then you need enough protein. You can't just do all fat because the body's like, excuse me, where's the protein? Because if you don't put protein in me, I'm going to go eat some protein for the body that needs those amino acids. It will rob from its own body if you're just doing a fat fast. That will jack up your immune system. You need protein and you need fat to keep that metabolism strong. Strong. You can't just do fat fast. You can't just eat fat all day long and go like, well, it's kind of like, I'm fasting. I'm not eating at all. So in essence, if you had to choose like a coconut oil over no food at all, I would choose a coconut oil. I would toss that MCT oil powder. But at the same time, you're not getting all of the macronutrients, especially with the micronutrients that you need to not thus weaken your metabolism, make it more inflexible, and weaken your immune system. You don't need to do a fat fast to balance your blood sugar. Y'all need to get your ass to bed early, right? You all need to eat foods that are high in vitamins and minerals, especially the organs of the animals that give us life, especially. We need a lot of fat to get into a state of ketosis to balance your blood glucose and to regulate your insulin so you're not insulin resistant but more insulin sensitive. And this process takes months. It doesn't happen overnight. We want to become metabolically strong. It always takes time. Our breathing, the way we sit, the way we use our central nervous system, the way that we think, the way that we breathe, the way we exercise, how you use your core, the upper lumbar region of your body. There are moving parts, the circadian rhythm. I made up a word. Circadian rhythm. It's about getting your liver to function properly, right? Good liver detox. Getting your freaking ass outside and putting your bare feet in the dirt. This is what makes you strong. Not adding MCT oil in these weird, like, hours where you're not eating, your body's just eating itself and destroying your metabolism. And then you lose muscle and water, and you're like, oh my God, I lost 10 pounds on the scale, but you really didn't lose fat. And now you're more metabolically deranged. And so when you eat food again, you blow up like a balloon. Plus, when people fast in general, they're not getting the proper electrolytes. Like, the whole system crashes. Like, system override, system overload in people. Just they don't get what they want, and you can see when people are intermittent fasting or one meal a day, they're aging themselves exponentially. If you don't believe me, look at some of the people promoting it, especially when you're older. Because like when you're younger, you can kind of hide it. You still have collagen under the skin. But when you get to be my age at 55 and you be 56, and then you try to fast, you can be looking real old real fast. Because what the body cannot get, it'll rob from itself. It will rob from itself. It'll pull calcium out of the bones. It'll pull sodium out of the body. Like, we have to be out of the cells. We have to be really, really careful when we don't balance our electrolytes, or we don't breathe properly, or we use cheese, or we're using protein shakes. You know, we just have to be very, very careful. So do not do a fat fast. It's not necessary. Take that extra time to balance your blood sugar and your ketones by eating every freaking couple of hours. The snacks that you might be eating are small. They could be just 2 tablespoons of a ground meat with a tablespoon of fat. This is not to feed you. This is to keep your blood sugar from going boom, and then boom, and then boom. Boom, boom, boom. We want it to be like this. Bing, 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 bing. That's why you have little small meals. And that won't overwhelm your digestive tract. If a lot of people stop eating all that protein and break it up all throughout the day, you'd be surprised to watch your blood sugar stabilize. And then your ketones go up once you start eating the right amounts of fats, and toss the cheese and the MCT oil and the bone broth. Then you guys will do great. Get some animal fat in. Now I gotta go ride my horse because it's so beautiful today. It's gorgeous. It's raining in California. It's really beautiful here. Toss the coffee and the black tea and the green tea. Drink. So people are like, what do I drink? And I'm like, water! Like me, when you have like beautiful well water, why the frack? Why? Would you drink coffee? Or would you drink alcohol? Protein shakes? Smoothies? I don't know. Anyway, comment below. Tell me more of what you guys would love me to talk about. I would love to know. Yes, I'm Stephanie Person. Comment below. I really would love to know what you guys think and what more you'd like me to talk about. Follow me on Instagram at Stephanie Ketogenic. You can follow me also on my Facebook, which is Stephanie the Business Person. I have a course where I cover all these 3 diets. Yes, they're pretty cool. Like the whole supplement subject. What about low potassium and nausea? Low potassium and nausea. What about that lactic acid burn when you work out? Well, we go over it there. Yeah. Energy! And almost 56 and counting, 16 years, almost. I'm 15. I started this when I was 40. I got a lot of videos. For those who just found me, the videos go way back. And I learned from you guys. I don't take these stupid studies because they're useless. You gotta go by the real people with real stories. Yeah. Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. Share this content and follow me by going to stephanieperson.com. And I'm out. And get out of the cities. Because living in the country is fabulous. So worth it. Yeah. From city girl to country girl. Peace. Energy.